In today's video, we're going to use ChatGPT, this vinyl sticker paper, to create these very cute pet stickers. Let's make this. My inspiration for this project is to explore the use of ChatGPT a little bit more in my crafting, as well as just creating cool little cute stickers. I think stickers are great, and your pet is one of those perfect opportunities to create something that's really cute. So the materials I'll be using today are very, very minimal. I've just got the vinyl sticker paper. I got this one from Amazon. It's an embark brand, which is an Australian brand. The quality is really good. You can use it as it is, or you could actually add some self-adhesive laminate or holographic laminate if you wanted to as well. But it's great. I think it's even waterproof, so it could be great for stickers for water bottles and things like that. And then we just need a regular grip mat or a standard grip mat. So we're going to start today's project in ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is free. You can pay for upgrades, but generally it's free, particularly if you're using it for crafting and things like that. There's no point in upgrading, I don't think. So once you're in there, all you need to do is click on New Chat. I think you can actually not log in as well. I think you can use it as a just as a guest user essentially, but I've logged in. It kind of keeps all of my chats as I go through. So I'm starting a new chat, and if you click on that plus button on the left hand side, you can actually add files, you can add photos, you can do a whole heap of other things, but I've chosen 3 different photos of my dog Juniper. Now, if you've been following along for a while, you've all met Juniper before. And today we're going to create some stickers using photos of her. Now, you don't have to upload photos, particularly of animals, because if I just wrote, can you create something for a black Labrador, they are pretty generic. But you can do this same thing with people. So I've done this, I'm a teacher, and I've done this with some of my students to put on to a presentation for a school assembly. And I've taken their school photos and turned them into little AI-generated Pixar characters. So it's a really good one if you're using people or something like that. But I've uploaded 3 photos of Juniper, and I'm going to put a prompt in. Now, the more information you can give ChatGPT in your prompt, the more likely it is to be an accurate depiction of what you're after. So I've written, use these photos of my black Labrador Juniper, so just so that it understands it's a black Labrador, to create a Pixar-style image of her making a martini. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. She should be wearing a pink collar because she wears a pink collar all the time. And I also want her to be making a lychee martini, so I want to make it so that it's more specific. Now, you could also talk about she's making it on the beach. She could be, you can tell ChatGPT that you want a white background. You could put her in an outfit like a bartender's outfit. You could make her look like a hipster bartender or a bar wench from Ye Olde. But you can do any of those things. As I said, the more detail you give them, the better it is. Then it will take a little bit of time to generate. So it takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and sometimes it will come up and it will say there are a lot of requests at the moment. So then the generation of that image can be a little bit slower. But essentially, it will take its time, and then it will generate an image for you. And from there, we can then make tweaks and make different decisions. So how cute is this one? So this is the first one that it's created. Now, I love that. I love the fur. It's taken, obviously, there's a photo I uploaded that was from her at the beach, and so she's all wet. So the fur that ChatGPT has created is very cool. Love the pink collar. Love that big smile that it created. But my issue is that it's added an olive. So traditionally, a martini has an olive as its garnish. It's got the lychee on the right-hand side as well, but I want to get rid of that olive. So what you can then do, and you could see there that I hit the thumbs up just so that ChatGPT, because it's learning. So if you give it a thumbs up, it knows that it's done the right thing and it can learn from that. But now I'm going to say, please remove the olive from the stick. And then I regenerate. Oh, now we're on to something. How cute is this? So you can see, though, how it's changed her image and she's become a lot smoother. So you could, if you wanted to, now go back and say, actually, can you go back to the old one? But the more times you go back and forward between images, the more messed up it gets. Sometimes you'll end up with an extra hand. Sometimes you end up with like an extra eyebrow, or things get conjoined, all of that kind of stuff. But so what I then did, I'm going to stick with this one. So I'm going to take this image, and that's going to be our first one. It's got the lychee bottle there, so we can see that it's a lychee martini. It's got the lychee inside the martini glass. She's looking happy. I'm stoked with this. So then I'm going to just hit that upload button there. So it's got the arrow on it, and I've clicked on that, and then it saves it. So it's just saved it as a regular download. So in an Apple Mac, you'll see that it's come up on the right-hand side with the down arrow and the little bracket. It's gone straight up to there. If you're using a window, I think it will. If you're using a Windows computer, it may actually ask you where you'd like it to be saved. But this one has gone straight to downloads because it's a Apple Mac. Now, because I love that, I want to generate a couple more images. There is a limit on how many images you can make with a free use, and I think it's 4 or 5. But I'm going to test it out and we'll see how many we can do. So my partner, she is an English teacher and she wants one to put on, a new sticker to put on her laptop. So now I'm going to ask ChatGPT, now please make Juniper an English teacher. And you can see here I've made a few little spelling mistakes. But she should be wearing black rimmed glasses, because my partner wears black rimmed glasses, and wear a blazer with a t-shirt underneath, because that's can be one of my partner's signature styles. So I thought, let's see if we can make her into Juniper and meld the two together. The other thing is the kids at school, they know Juniper, so it'll be really interesting to see if they pick up on the new sticker that will be on the laptop. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty excited to see what the reaction to that is. And again, it'll take 3 or 4 minutes to generate. But now look, English 101, I am a dog. How cute is it? I just love how it's created that smile that Juniper has. It's just so cute. So now I've got English teacher, and then Juniper's favourite thing to do is go to the beach. So now I'm going to do, now please make Juniper run on a beach. And this is the funny one. So it's now generated her in a blazer running on the beach. Now, I think that's very cute and very adorable, but it wasn't really what I was after. So this is why you've got to be a little bit more precise about things, because all it's doing is taking the image it's created before and just adding whatever you have put into the new prompt. So I'm going to say, can you please change her into a pink swimsuit? And then it will regenerate. Now, it comes up with you've reached your image creation limit. Please try again tomorrow after. So you've got 24 hours. So it's going to make 5 images for us. And this is why being precise is important, because because I wasn't precise enough with the martini glass, or the martini, I've used 2 of my image creations based on a martini. And then also because I didn't say put her in a pink swimsuit. How cute is that? Her in a swimmer's. Because I wasn't precise enough with the swimsuit component, it's created one where Juniper's wearing a blazer. And that also means that I've used another image on that. So I could have actually, if I was more precise and thought a little bit more about it, I could have had 5 very different images, but that's okay. So I've saved all of those. They've gone into my download, and now I'm going into Design Space. We're just going to upload each of these images. We're uploading them as flat graphics because we're going to turn them into stickers. So I click on upload. All I've done is drag in the image from my Finder window, but you can actually click browse and find the folder where you've saved each of these images. And then I've just chosen my YouTube folder for that, and I've changed the name of each of the files to Juniper on the beach or Juniper with a martini, just so that if I go back and I want to search for it, I'm not going to remember playful pause at the beach, but I am going to, if I just typed in Juniper, it'd come up with a whole heap because, like I said before, if you've been around for a while, you've seen Juniper is in many of my projects. So I'm just going to upload all of them. I've also got one I made a little while ago for a friend. She's just adopted a French bulldog, and so I created one that is Juniper and Guacamole is the French bulldog's name, and it's a kind of a bit more like a painting, but they're sitting having a martini and having some guacamole and chips. So you'll see that one coming up in a minute. Now, I'm going to change the shape of these. I want to tidy them up. So you could now just resize all of those images that we've uploaded, resize them. We could do a print and cut, no problems. But what I want to do is create some curved edges. What I'd really like to do is put them in different shapes, but I think the way the image has been created, it's because it's all rectangular and it kind of fills up particularly the width of each of these images, her Juniper's body and Juniper's face, or the accessories. A rectangle is going to be the best bet. So what I've done is I've clicked on the rounded edge or rounded corner square. Started with a square, but instead I've elongated it. Then I've gone up to the drop-down menu that says Basic Cut. I've changed it to Guide. The reason I've done that is so that I can see how I can position that and make it the size that I need to fit that image in. So I've made it big enough to fit, and we're going to start with the English 101. So I've made it big enough to fit around the English 101. I am and the picture of Juniper with her, what even is that? Her, could be a cane, I suppose, or the pointer in front of the blackboard. I've changed it to Guide. Then I'm going to click on both the image of Juniper and the guide. Then I'm going to go down to Slice, click Slice, and then I'm just going to delete just the bit that is outside of the guide. So you can see that it's really just taken off the bottom of the image and a little bit around the outside. And then I am going to repeat that. So I've got the guide, I've put it over the top of the martini image, and I've fit it all in, highlighted both or selected both, clicked on Slice, get rid of the slice result, and then I've got another one. And these are actually turning out to be really quite cute. I knew they were going to be cute, but I wasn't sure if they were going to come up as well as they have. Now, I'm going to try a different shape. So for the one that looks a bit more like a painting, how cute, a guacamole and Juniper in there, making martinis and eating guacamole and chips. But I'm going to do it in a circle and see how well it fits. So I've gone and selected a circle shape. I've sized it, changed it to a guide. So I've gone up the top, clicked on the basic cut, changed it to a guide, selected both and hit Slice. Now, if I get rid of the slice result, it actually works really well. Oh, I'm so happy with that. It's so cute. I know it's a different style, but that's okay. It's the same theme, it's just a different style. And when you're doing sticker pages, you kind of want to fill up as much of the page as possible because you want it to be kind of so you're not wasting paper, because it's hard to there. I don't think even if you can put that cut paper back through the printer. So if you only used half the page or something like that, I don't know that could go back through the printer. So you may as well fill it up. So I've done those 4 images. I've got the circle and I've got 3 rectangles. Now I'm just creating a guide again, but this time it's for the size of the print then cut. So I'm putting a width of 16.7 and a height of 25.4. And then I'm going to change that again to a guide. So I've gone up to basic cut, gone down to guide, and now it's a matter of fitting each of these stickers in. So then what I'm going to do is, so I've got the guide there ready to go. Now I'm going to do offsets. I forgot to do the offsets. You don't have to do an offset if you don't want to, but it kind of helps make the design just that little bit cleaner, I think. I like the idea of having the offset. I think it also makes it feel a bit more like a sticker. Aesthetically, it looks more like a sticker. So what I'm going to do is just do a 0.25 offset around each of the stickers. And then I'm going to change the colouring a little. So with the one with the swimmers, I'm going to do a pink background or a pink offset. And I've just manipulated that by moving around the colour swatch to get the colour that I like. And then once I've done that, I've highlighted both the offset and the sticker or the image. And then I've gone down to flatten. So that now is going to create one image. It ensures that Design Space knows that that is going to be a print then cut, rather than printing just the image and then trying to cut the offset, say out of vinyl or something else. It creates 2 different mats. But by doing it this way, it means that you've flattened it and it's going to print that as a whole image, and it's going to cut that as a whole image. So it's really important that you do flatten. If you forget to do flatten, you'll notice that it's on different mats, and you'll see that there's a bit of an issue straight away. You just come back and you change it and make sure you flatten each of those images. So I'm up to the final one. I've gone white around the English teacher. I've done the rosy, lychee colour around the martini, and I'm doing that really old-fashioned green, olivey kind of colour for the painting. So now it's just a matter of moving these around, changing sizes, things like that to fit it all in. Now, I might be able to rotate this one actually. I don't like the new options here. I don't like how you've got to press that pencil for the tools and things like that. I just don't, it's not enjoyable for me. I don't understand. I would really like to know who complained so much that they thought that would be a good idea to change it. Because I feel like there's just extra clicking involved now, which can sometimes slow you down because you just get a little bit miffed about it. But anyway, so you can see here that it's taken up about a third, 2/3 of the page, maybe half the page. And so I'm going to try and fill the rest up. So then I am going to make these stickers smaller and do more of them on there. But I'm going to start by creating a couple that's just Juniper's name. So I've just typed Juniper, and now I'm just looking for a font. So I've gone to my system fonts to do that. You might pay for Cricut. You can use Cricut fonts, obviously. But I do a lot of downloading from 1001 fonts. So I'm going to start with this phosphate colour. I think that really works with some of these different images that I've got. And I've gone the bright pink. That's the same pink that I've got around the edge of the swimmer or the beach one. And then I'm just doing an offset around the outside. And I'm going to make that offset like the proper black, just like Juniper. And then I'm going to do another, just a 0.1 offset around the outside, and I'm going to make that white. Just, add a little bit more pop to it. And then I've got to flatten. You've got to remember to flatten each time. So this is just different things you can do with stickers, essentially. And then I'm just going to resize it just to make it a little bit bigger and fit that gap. It's really all about trying to fill those gaps. So then what I'm going to do is actually select the 4 stickers, and I'm going to duplicate them to start with and see how they fit and see if I need any more images. Yeah, so you can see there that's too big, but what about if I did some smaller ones? I did think about it before, but this has actually confirmed my views. So I've got these ones that are going to be just like a little tiny version. They're really so cute. I really like these. So then I'm going to do another juniper. So I do another name sticker. I don't even know what I'm going to do with these stickers, to be honest, but I'm just showing you different ways that you might be able to fill up a sticker page so that you're not wasting your paper. I know it's a lot. It could be thought that maybe that's a bit too much ink, but up to you. If you don't want to do it, then you don't have to, but I just think it's a really good way of using up that sticker paper. And look, if you love them as much as I love these little stickers, then you probably do want more than one or two. These can go on anything too. That's the beauty of them. They can actually go on your computer. They can go on your fridge. You can put them on your in your journals. They can go on anything. So folders, great present if you've got high school students maybe who have folders that they carry around. So they might want to put them on their folder. You could even, add names to them and turn them into like little name tags for your workbooks. So many possibilities. I really like them. So I've just done juniper in a different font. I've changed the colouring around, but I'm keeping that similar colour ideas. So I've got the pink, the black and the white for the capital letter juniper. Now this one with the running writing, which is sign writer, I think it was called. I've gone the black with the pink and the white. And then I've just got a little bit to fill in. I've just got that right hand side. So I wanted to do some paws, but when I go to the free options, there's no paw prints. I don't know why. Must be one of those things that they really want to hold close to them in the Cricut office. So then I just went dog. I thought maybe I'd get a paw print if I just wrote dog, but no. But I do like this balloon dog, and I reckon he could make a couple of little stickers. So I'm just going to do an offset around the outside of this one. So I'm going to do I might do a 2.5 again, actually, or 0.25. Do a 0.25, but this time I'm going to use the contour and make sure I've changed it to pink, and then I'm going to use the contour. I'm going to hide all contours so that it becomes a solid image. And then I'll change the actual balloons into white, and then I'll do another 0.1 offset around the outside, and I think I'll do that one black. So then again, I've got a bit of a colour theme. It matches that one where Juniper's on the beach. I could have chosen the dark greens. I could have chosen the lychee colour. It's up to you. I just think that it's a really good idea if you're going to make a sticker sheet that there's some kind of continuity and some kind of theming happening. So now what I want to do, if you just went straight to make now, this would print. They might print separately, or they might actually print as a just all over the shop, and it may say that it doesn't fit. But because we've carefully fit it all in, then all I want to do is I've moved the guide out of the way. I've selected all of them, and I've gone to attach. This means that this will then print exactly the way you have designed it. Otherwise, like I said, it could manipulate it. You might end up with 2 different pages that it wants to use, but you can see here it fits perfectly. I just played around with it to see if I can make it any bigger, but the print then cut looks like it might have changed. It might have got a little bit smaller again. But anyway, Now I'm going to save it. So I'm just going to save it as Juniper stickers. And then we're going to go to make. You're going to click on send to printer and choose the printer that you're going to use. Make sure the add bleed is on. That helps with the cutting in particular. And then click on the use system dialog, because you will want to probably change things like where you're going to feed the paper from, the type of paper you're using. Because I'm using a vinyl adhesive, I want to make sure that I click a setting that matches that. So I go to media and quality. I click on the rear tray because that's where my paper gets fed. And then I'm going to do photo glossy paper because the vinyl is a gloss. And then I'm making sure that the quality is best. And then I just hit print. Once that's done, then I'm going to set my base material. I clicked on vinyl to start with because in my head I decided I was doing a kiss cut. So if you were going to do a kiss cut, which means that the sheet stays as it is and you lift the stickers out of it, then that will cut that perfectly. But what I wanted to do is actually create separate stickers because, like I said, my partner wants to take the English ones to work so she can put them on her laptop. The laptop's not at home. So I changed it to a medium cardstock. So this will mean that it will make sure it cuts all the way through. And then we just need to do the print and the cut. Now, just making sure that I am checking the cut before I eject this mat. The reason I want to do that is if you eject it too early, and particularly with print then cut, it can be a little bit tricky to make sure it goes in the exact same way and it does a recut. So I've just lifted it using a weeding tool and you can see that has lifted perfectly. But if it didn't, just press play again and it will just run your process through again and it will just add a little bit more cut. Really good if it's kind of just lifting but it's not perfect. I would just run it through again. It didn't take very long, so just do a check first. And just to remove it from the mat, flip the mat over. The idea is that you're actually using gravity to help you with the removal process, which means that they shouldn't curl. So if you tried to just pull it up and straight off the mat, it will come off. You won't have any trouble getting it off, but what will happen is the stickers might curl and then it makes it a little bit hard to then flatten it out. You should do that with your vinyl as well. Any HTV, just flip it over and then remove and you can see how well they've come up. And oh my gosh, how cute are these? These are so adorable. I wish Juniper could actually see them because I think she would love them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but again, great if you were, maybe you could turn them into name tags for your kids' notebooks and things like that. You could put a little bit of information on there, but how cute. Oh my God, how cute are these? I knew they were going to be cute, but I really underestimated how cute they are. They go with everything. And how great is this if you've got a friend who's got a pet? It's such a quick, easy project that is using a little bit of AI. There's nothing wrong with it. Embrace it, guys. And using a bit of AI and some sticker paper. I mean, how hard can it be? Great for beginners. Absolutely great for beginners because you're using the print then cut process and you're learning that. And also, if you've never used ChatGPT, don't be scared. Why not have a go and see what you can create? You can do this with people. You could do this with plants. You could do a whole heap of different things. It's just taking a photo that you've got and asking ChatGPT to turn it into something else. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it and seeing the final results. And I can't wait to see you next week for another market blog. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget, you can always jump on my Instagram, head over to my Etsy store, or even check out the videos YouTube recommends for you down below.